Hello everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube video. This might be my last time recording this season, so hopefully we can go out on a high note. Also, I just want to say I'm in Victoria, British Columbia right now in Canada, and for the first time in my flourishing career, I saw a fan on the street, or rather they saw me. Very exciting, comment on my last video about how they saw me, or a doppelganger who looked just like me, but I am here, so it is me. That just makes me want to say, if you ever recognize me and see me on the street, totally say hi. I love meeting people. That would be really fun. As for this pack, it's Tundra. I know we just drafted blue-white, but this is definitely the best pick. Path the Exile is good. Leovold is good. Yawgmoth's Will is good, but not really a card I want to first pick. But a good blue fetchable land is a perfect place to start. So we will happily take that. And wow, I mean, deal. Get past the Fractured Identity. Very happy that we took the Tundra, and we'll certainly be taking this. The pack is great all around. Elspeth is quite good. Thraben Inspector's fine. Factor Fiction is very good. Probably the card I would take here without the Fractured. Marsh Flats can grab Tundra, a couple Signets that are half on color, and even Dismember as a cheap removal spell. And Fiery Islet. Just a great pack all around for, like, blue, white, X control. But yeah, let's take the Fractured Identity for sure. We probably will wheel at least one of the Signets. We could also wheel Thraben Inspector or Elspeth. We'll see, but no matter what, taking the Fractured. Okay, I think we take Consecrated Sphinx now. Tolarian Academy has high upside, but it's a little bit speculative, and this just helps us to cut blue and have, like, guaranteed good cards. Ketria Triumph was an option as well. It's not a blue-white land, but it's good for if we're trying to play Omnath, which is an interesting avenue, and I would take this over just an average blue card. Like, if this was a Venser, I would probably take the Ketria Triumph, but as is, Consecrated Sphinx is great. I think it's worth taking this card. Pest Infestation is also quite strong, but still going to take the Consecrated Sphinx here. Okay, now let's take a Glen. That's a pretty sweet pickup. There's also Underground Sea, Demonic Tutor, Time Spiral potentially. And then I guess you could take like Recruiter or Chalice, but Glen is really good. It's cheap, or I guess it's medium cost, but it's interactive, it's card advantage. Just a really solid card all around. And unlike a lot of other cards like this, Force of Negation, things like that, that are only really good when you're even on board and trying to keep them from doing stuff, the fact that this is just a 2/2 with flying that blocks twice means it's good against aggro too. You can just play this, trade with their Goblin Guide, it comes back, trade with their Ragavan, and that's a pretty nice 2-for-1 as well. Well, there's the Omnath, but I think that's a little bit loose to take this early. I love this card. I kind of wanted to slam it for fun, but at the same time, it's not going to be fun to play with this card unless we have the fixing for him. So let's take the Prismatic Vista and then see what happens. If Omnath comes around, we'll take it and start moving in that direction. If Ketria Triumph and Omnath come around, we will be thrilled, but let's just take the Prismatic Vista here. Okay, not the best pack for us now. Couple red cards and a lot of black cards. But I think we just take the Riftwind Cloudskate. It's not a card I'm thrilled about. I guess we could also take Dimir Signet. Average blue card, average blue Signet. If this was a blue-white Signet, I would certainly take it. However, given that there's 3 black cards in this pack, I think it's pretty likely we'll splash black. So yeah, let's take the Dimir Signet then. And then if we end up picking up any semi-late Ashiok or Vindicates, we'll be happy to have a bit of black fixing. Also a late Sneak Attack, but I don't really feel the need to go in that direction. We have a really solid start already. We also have a lot of expensive cards, so taking some Artifact mana to accelerate into our expensive stuff seems good. And now I think we just want to take Dam. Getting Endure is solid. Scrubland is good if we do want to splash black. But having Board Sweepers is key in a lot of matchups. And we might be able to get one later. And the second one is sort of redundant. You don't need 2. Like, 2 is not twice as good as getting 1. If this was pack 3, I would just slam this easily. But I think even in pack 1, it's worth it to just cover our bases, make sure we have a way to deal with all the creatures when we're behind on board. And then probably won't wheel anything from this pack. It's probably going to be like Razor Verge Thicket, but we'll take this. Whoa, super late Seachrome Coast. I think we will take that. Portend and Oblivion Ring are really nice as well. And Bolt. Honestly, this whole pack is pretty solid, but let's take the piece of fixing. I think that's going to be quite nice for us. If this was Ponder, I would probably take it, and if this was Council's Judgment, I would probably take it, but these are inferior versions of those effects, So let's just make sure we can cast our spells. Alright, now we get a pretty bad pack for us. We could take Leovold, but that requires splashing 2 colors. We could take Copperline Gorge, speculating on the Omnath Wheeling. And then we could take Lightning Helix if we think we might want to splash red. I think I'm going to speculate on the Copperline Gorge. None of the other cards have that high upside. I guess Lightning Helix kind of does, but Omnath is really, really good. And so if it doesn't come around, that's fine. But if it does, then we'll want to have that. Ooh. Okay, I think since we took the Seagram Coast, we don't need to take Marsh Flats here. We can decide between Factor Fiction and Elspeth. And I like Elspeth more in some decks, but we have no card draw other than Consecrated Sphinx at the moment. I think Factor Fiction is slightly better here. Really close pick, though. It's awesome that these cards all wheeled. Both because we get a good pick here and because it's a good sign for other things wheeling later in the draft. So I'll take that. All right. I don't think this was the Omnath pack. Let's just take Pest Infestation, speculatively. Ravenous Chupacabra is great if we are playing black, but it's harder to splash because it's double black and Pest Infestation only takes 1 green. Yeah, let's take Pest Infestation. In a lot of matchups, I think green is a mediocre splash, but Pest Infestation is the perfect card to splash. It only has 1 green mana symbol. You can play it in the late game. It totally can swing the tide of a game on its own. So, pretty perfect splash card. And now we'll take Underground Sea. Elish Norn, not a terrible card. Karmic Guide, and last pick, Race of Verge Thicket. Okay, so no Omnath. I think it's unlikely we're going to be splashing many of these colors, but that's fine. We have a great start just for straight up blue-eye control. And not the best pack 2 here to start, but we do get a Mole Drifter, which is not bad. Also, if the lighting looks better now, you can thank my girlfriend for that. She very kindly just brought over a lamp. Yeah, we'll take the Mole Drifter, and that is pretty great. Maybe we can wheel Geist of St. Traft for the board. Whoa. Deal. Celestial Colonnade is nice. Venture's nice, but we just got past the Time Walk. You read that right. That is 2 mana to take an extra turn. There's a functionally equivalent card that costs 5 in this format, and it's still good. So that really tells you something about Time Walk. It's actually not the best Time Walk deck at the moment. Any deck that can play it is a good Time Walk deck, but it's even better if you're either playing a lot of Planeswalkers that snowball over time, or if you're playing a lot of creatures so you can get value out of the attack step. And we don't have either of those yet. But again, even if we don't get them, still a good card, and we still have enough time in the draft to potentially get them later. So we will take that. Now we have a couple interesting options. I want to mention Tinker. We did pass a Tolarian Academy earlier, so that would have been one avenue to go here. I think this is probably better, though. Now we could take Echo of Eons, Godless Shrine, but I think we just want to take Suspicious Stowaway. Not a broken card, but solid, gives you a lot of consistency, and can be a source of card advantage if it flips to be Seafaring Werewolf. Ooh, there's the Ashiok. I think we do take that here. We have the Underground Sea, so we might not be splashing green. We might splash black instead. Kind of wishing we had the Leovold now. But let's take the Ashiok. This card is great. Treasure Cruise and Click are also both good. And also, Uro is good in some decks. This isn't the best Uro deck. It's good with Factor Fiction, but we don't have a lot of cheap cantrips or fetch lands. But if that comes around, we might try to make it happen. But in this pack, we're just going to take the Ashiok. Alright, I think we should probably just take Repeal here. There's also Simic Signet. Bone Crusher Giant's good if we're playing red. Unlicensed Hearse is situationally great, but let's take the Repeal. It's some solid interaction. We don't have that much interaction for the board. Yeah, we'll take Repeal. Ooh, tough pick here. Polluted Delta is great. It can get all our colors, but there's also Miscalculation, and we have no counter magic other than Glenn. And I think that's what we got to take here. Sorry, Polluted Delta. This is really would have been a great card for us, and I would take this over any card draw spell other than like Ancestral Recall. But specifically a 2-mana counterspell, I think is just so important that I do need to take it here. Okay, now we get Daze, which is significantly worse as a counterspell, or Ancestral. And I think I will take the Ancestral. Really good card. Yeah, let's go with that. Elspeth Resplendent's fine, but we'll take this. And now late Gideon. That's great. Burst Lightning could be good if we're playing red, but let's just take Gideon. Now we get Brain Freeze and Geist of St. Traft for the board. Brain Freeze is good against Storm, and Geist of St. Traft is good against any linear combo deck that doesn't have good blockers. And I think there's more decks in that camp, so we'll take the Geist. Savannah is also a good option to try and splash Pest Infestation, but we have no fetch lands that can grab it right now, so I think I'm just going to take the Geist. Nice. Late Watery Grave. A lot of green and black in this pack, but I don't really care. We will take this. And now we'll take, Godless Shrine versus Creeping Tar Pit. Close pick. We don't have a black-white fetchable land. We don't have a black-white fetchable land, so I think that's probably slightly better, but I do love man lands. And I don't have a lot of one-drops. Actually, let's take the Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, this card seems pretty good here. Especially since we are a little light on win conditions. Having an extra way to close out the game is nice. And then this card is also just excellent for pressuring Planeswalkers. This tea is very good. Another thing I can thank my girlfriend for. Nikki, you're the best. Alright, we will take the Uro. I don't think it's super likely that we end up being able to play it, since we're already trying to play 3 colors, and we don't have that many fetch lands, but you never know. In the same vein, we'll take Endurance, in case we somehow end up pivoting towards green. And I don't think Wall of Roots is great for us, but I'll take Field of the Dead. That could become good. Last pick, Birthing Pod, okay. Alright, interesting pack here. I mean, Ren and 6 would be awesome if we were just going 5 color. If we wheel the Omnath. There's a world where we take the Ren here, but as is, we're definitely taking Salting Tarn. Pretty great pickup. It gets blue, black, white. It doesn't get green, so if we want to splash Pest Infestation, it does not yet help with that. But still a great pickup. This pack is kind of light for us outside of that, so not much we're really hoping to wheel here. Maybe like Ophiomancer, but we'll take the Scalding Tarn and be pretty happy about it. Ooh, well, okay, we're splashing green. That's incredible. Oko is one of the best Planeswalkers ever printed. Our mana is going to be a little bit tricky here, but this is still just way too good to pass. If this was a Swords to Plowshares, it would be close. There's also Snapcaster Mage to pair with our Time Walk and our Fractured Identity. And Coalition Relic, so a lot of good cards here. But let's take the Oko and be very happy about it. Alright, now we have another good pack. Plains Swamp Forest does actually help us a lot, although unfortunately we cannot grab that with Scalding Tarn. Mountain Plains Swamp helps us a little bit less. Dark Confidant and Baleful Strix are both really good, and Ponder's also really good, but I think we gotta take the End of the Triome if we want to splash green here, which I really think we want to try to do if we can. So we'll take that. Again, very unfortunate that we cannot grab this with Scalding Tarn, but I still think it's too good to pass here. We don't have that many white cards, so we could pivot more towards Sultai, but the white cards that we do have are really good, especially Fractured Identity, of course. Okay, here we're going to take Thoughtseize. We're moving more and more towards black, and this is a really elite interactive spell. Also, our curve is kind of high, so this helps to make it a little bit more acceptable. Boseiju is also pretty strong. If we had Ren and 6, I would take this, I think, but Thoughtseize is a really nice interactive spell. Now we could go Kroxaro. I really would love to be able to pull that off, but we're not playing red. Let's just take Wrath of God. We don't have that good white fixing, but being able to have 2 white board sweepers is really good in a lot of matchups. And now we're going to try and wheel Vindicate, but I think we want to take one of the fetches, which will be Verdant Catacombs. Really nice pickup there. We do need a few more spells. Wow. Teferi, deal. Utopia Sprawl could be good, depending on how the mana looks, but definitely taking Teferi. Now we actually have a good Planeswalker count. Ashiok, Teferi, Gideon, Oko. I guess that's not amazing, but it's not bad. Okay, now we have Mana Tithe versus Temple Garden. Temple Garden does help us, although we can get it with Verdant Catacombs. Are we going to have enough spells? We need to get probably 3 more spells, but we could play some of these from the board if we really need to. Tithe and Brazen Burrow are both good, but I think we just want to be able to cast our spells consistently, so we'll take Temple Garden. And now we do wheel the Wren. Do we have a backdoor 5-color splash out of the blue? Right now we have 3 fetch lands with Prismatic Vista. For red sources, we have 1. This does not get red, unfortunately. 2. If we play 1 mountain, we'd have 4. But that really hurts our deck in other ways. Yeah, as much as I love Wrenn and 6, I don't think that's the right pick here. I think we should take either Knight of the Reliquary or Ophiomancer. Let's take the Knight of the Reliquary here. Pretty solid card. Alright, so a greedy mana base here, but I think the deck is looking good. Now we'll take an Oust pretty easily. Just a really solid interactive spell. We have 2 board sweepers, but we don't have much spot removal, especially cheap spot removal. And now we could run the deck like this with 8 basics. I think I'd prefer to play 7 basics probably, but we'll see how the mana fixing looks. Razorverse Thicket's helpful now. Karmic Guide I think is a little too narrow. And Field of the Dead is now actually good. We got there. And actually with Field of the Dead I kind of want to play 18 lands. So I would be happy just playing this with 6 basics. Probably 2 plains, 2 island, 1 forest, 1 swamp. So it is a weird deck. Like our black card, we only have Ashiok and Thoughtseize for black cards. So we actually have more green than black now, but we have great black mana fixing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources. Now we get Savai Triome to help even more, and to make Field of the Dead better. Okay, do we have the mana for Ob Nixilis now? Actually, Ob Nixilis isn't even that good for us. I think I would actually just rather take Tovlar's Huntmaster here. Yeah, let's take that. So right now, I think I would play this with... do we want to play 17 lands or 18? 18 seems a little bit better. Maybe we cut one of the board sweepers. Yeah, I think that seems fine. Kroxa, sure. I think Dam is better than Wrath of God for this deck because we have... we could cast the front half, potentially. There's definitely a world where we just go, turn 1, Creeping Tar Pit, turn 2, Underground Sea, Dam on your Raphellos or Ragavan. We could play Copperline Gorge just for Field of the Dead, but I don't think that's really where we want to be. So I like this build, this basic configuration as a null hypothesis. Let's sort by color. Okay, way more blue cards. That's where you want to be. So we have 14 blue, 6 white, 3 black, 5 green. So pretty even across everything except for blue. For blue sources, this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not bad, plus the signet. I don't really want to go lower, but I'm fine with 10. For black, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's way more than we need. We could cut the swamp. That would also make Prismatic Vista a little bit worse, but we can cut the swamp if we need to. For green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's fine. Double green could be a little bit tough, but both of our double green cards are late game. For white, we have 1, 2... Verdant Catacombs gets white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's great. And wait, we did blue, white, green, black. Okay, yeah. So I think this actually seems fine. We'll just play this swamp. There may be some... I could have... Actually, do we want an 11th blue? But we don't have any double blue until, Consecrated Sphinx. Yeah, I'll just run it like this. This deck seems sweet. We're a great Field of the Dead deck. We have a lot of powerful multicolored cards, some Planeswalkers, some star power. Just a sweet deck all around. This is exactly how I want to play Vintage Cube. Just good fixing, awesome multicolored cards, diverse interaction, cool threats. See you in round 1. Alright, we have our opponent for round 1. Goofballed X21. We are on the draw, but with a good hand. We have lots of colors of mana, and we have Time Walk, just honestly as an accelerant, but Time Walk as an accelerant is still pretty good. Opponent's down to 5. So if we draw a land, I will consider holding the Triome. But if we draw a spell, I'll just play it. Thoughtseize, wow, great draw. Let's just fire that off on turn 1. Endurance. That is weird. But yeah, that's really weird. Because, I mean, maybe they have no other spells, but still, this does nothing. Literally nothing. Yeah, this is just a misplay by the opponent. I don't think there's any possible card they could have that would make this right. All right, they have 2 islands in hand, sure, but they literally have nothing now. They just have lands, and we have our hand isn't great, but we have more lands than them and other spells. Question is, do we want to fire off this Time Walk? And I think I will not. I'm just gonna play Verdant Catacombs, grab a Triome, and set up the cycle of the Triome on turn 3, and we'll hold Time Walk until we have a need to use it. I would love it if they just jammed Coalition Relic or something like that. Thieving Skydiver as a 2/1, sure. So we will grab Plains, Swamp, Forest, and then we have 2 blue sources in our hand. That seems fine. Okay, we got kind of punished there because we want to, ideally, I would love to spend this and play Time Walk. So, yeah, that's not like something I really considered. I think that's the only card that would make us need to get a blue source there. Still probably fine. We're not like in a rush to play Time Walk. They don't have anything going, but it would be slightly better if we could get the Time Walk down. Okay, now we're just going to Pest Infestation this. Question is, do we want to Time Walk first? And I think the answer is yes. We'll take our draw and see what we hit. Ooh. Okay, let's play Gideon this turn, and then next turn we can Pest Infestation plus Time Walk. Yeah, that seems good. So we already have 2 white. We'll just go Island and cast this. Now, there's a chance they'll get some use out of the Survival of the Fittest, but that's really not that bad. There's no creatures they can get here that would be backbreakingly strong. They're not set up to play Sneak Attack or Reanimate anything. Okay, they do discard Hullbreaker Horror, but what are they going to get here? Maybe Vendilion Click? Actually, Vendilion Click could be a little bit annoying. They take our Time Walk, and then they have 2 flyers to pressure the Gideon. There's pretty much no green creature I would care about here, because they can't play it this turn, and we'll be able to like really develop by the time they get that going. Murktide Region isn't a problem. Snapcaster Mage isn't a problem. They could get just Muldrifter to draw 2. That would be fine. I think we could pretty easily outgrind that. Hydroid Krasis, sure. Now they hit Gideon for 2. Alright, I'm going to fetch here just because I don't want to run out of basics. Wait, this is a forest, right? Yeah. So we go Prismatic Vista, crack it. We'll grab a Plains for Field of the Dead. Time Walk. Pest Infestation. We kill that, make 2 dudes. Then we'll make a knight this turn and then attack next turn. We want to make sure Gideon has enough loyalty to survive a Thieving Skydiver hit. Take 2. And now Uro is live. If we ever draw that, we can escape it. I believe this comes off next turn. All right, that's not very good, but well, actually, let's just cycle this to start. Well, we don't have mana for that, but that's fine. We'll do that next turn. So this turn, let's just kill your guy. And then we can swing for 6 or... yeah, let's just plus and swing for as much damage as we can. So we're way ahead on board. We have more mana. We're ahead on life. We have Oko in hand. And we have Ancestral coming off next turn. Even if they had Ancestral coming off next turn, I think we would be winning. But the fact that it's us is... I mean, yeah, this game is over. They play a chump blocker that gains 1 life. Are they dead on board? Yes, they can chump block here, and then they take 2, 4, 5, 8 exactly, because the Oko will turn one of these into a 3/3. Can I get greedy and make them draw 3 just for the lulz? I think I can. All right, we win. So, blue-green mid-range. Their deck could be good. It looked pretty anemic there, but they mulled a 5 as well. Let's bring in a Wrath for sure. I think that's probably it. What do we not want? Pest Infestation was okay there, but we haven't seen that much stuff that it's good against. They do. Actually, maybe we cut Signet. It's really bad against Thieving Skydiver, and they're pretty likely to have other stuff that deals with artifacts and enchantments. Like, green is one of the best colors for that. They might have their own Pest Infestation, Reclamation Sage, etc., and this is our only artifact. Yeah, I think that seems fine. We'll cut the Signet. Actually, I probably should have added a second white source, or a second plains, but it's fine. This hand is great. Really good ways to deal with creatures, and also ways to draw cards. They do keep 7, though, this time. So we're going to play Triome into Underground Sea, Suspicious Stowaway, probably, into Thievery. Thieving Skydiver. Do we care about that? I don't think so. But given that we drew Miscalc, let's just pass holding up Counter Magic. If they play an Oko, I'll really want to have countered it. And we can just take a couple hits and then clean up the board with Dam on turn 4 or turn 5. Alright, no play. That's great news. I think I'm just going to oust that, actually. Not because I care about the 2-1 that much, but because we can still hold a Miscalculation, and they're just going to draw this brick of a 2-1 in 2 turns. And if they counter the oust, that's great news. I'm not going to counter back. I'll just let that happen. All right, that resolves. We'll pass. Now, worth noting, I don't necessarily think we win the Drago game in the long run against them. If they're playing both Hullbreaker Horror and Hydroid Krasis, those are really good threats that beat Counter Magic pretty effectively. Hanger back for 1. That is fine. We're going to bounce that with Thievery eventually. But for this turn, let's just play Vista for double blue and Suspicious Stowaway, still holding at Miscalc. Mana Drain. This is interesting. If they go land, they could play a 5-drop through Miscalculation. I think I'm still going to let this resolve. It's very close. If they just go, like, land Jace the Mind Sculptor, I'll regret this. But we don't really have a great line against that either way. If we don't hold a miscalc, they can just play the same mana cost of spell, and I don't care about the Suspicious Stowaway that much. And then if they this is actually not bad. Yeah, this is fine. Well, let's miscalc this. Yeah, let's miscalculation this. It does a good job of buying us time. They can counter it, or they can pay the 2, but then then we can play Teferi and bounce their Hangerback Walker and try and stabilize before they get the sword going. The sword hitting us would give us Uro, or it might give us Uro, which is good for us, but that's fine. Okay, attacking here is a terrible play. Yeah, that makes no sense. They definitely should have just leveled this up. Now, okay, let's just play that, actually. Yeah, that's a great draw. Kill both of these. They get a 1/1 flyer, but that's fine. The only way that this flyer matters is if they have another sword, but there's not even that many sword hits that would be that big of a deal. We have a kill spell for any creatures. We have Glenn next turn. This is the key turn here. If they play like some sort of 5-mana planeswalker, like I don't know, maybe Nissa could be a problem, but this is really the key turn. Also, just hilarious Magic Online thing. Goofballs plays Benny Hills. They're calling the forest Benny Hills. All right, they swing for 1. We go to 15. I'm not too worried about our life total here. And no play. What? They might be representing Endurance. Let's play Thoughtseize first. We know they're holding Thieving Skydiver and 2 unknowns, so I really don't think there's anything they could have here. We just have so many more resources. Cryptic Command to counter draw. Fair enough. Let's just play Teferi. And bounce the Thopter. Now, if they want, they can play Thieving Skydiver as the 2/1, but we have Glenn to block it next turn. Wow, Fractured Identity. Alright. No point in leaving one of these back. The main haste creature they could have would be Questing Beast, and that would not be blockable either way. They have a Glen of their own. Okay, that's a little annoying because it's counter magic that gets around Teferi. But I think we just play our own Glen and then let the Glens trade down. Oh, they're tapping out. That's a terrible play. You should not do this, opponent. Well, I guess we don't have the best ways to punish them. I think we might not even play Fractured Identity on the Glen, even if they do give us the opportunity. Because, first of all, Fractured Identity is not quite as good against Glen as it is against some things because it makes a token, and the token won't come back after, it won't persist back into play. But okay, let's plus the Teferi, play Forest, play Glen, and then pass turn. And this seems like a very good position for us. Oh, they tapped their island. That's kind of hilarious. Misplay. We don't have a way to take advantage of it, but they just tapped their blue source for Glen for no reason. Their deck is bluer than I thought, given that they're playing Raphellos and Endurance. Like Mana Drain, Glen, Cryptic Command, these are really good cards, but I still think it's going to be tough for the opponent to pull this one off. Okay, they play Metamorph, so they're going to get another Glen. Alright, fair enough. It's going to be hard for us to resolve non-creature spells. We'll block here, they trade. And then they play the Thieving Skydiver. Okay. So this is kind of an interesting situation. We need to fight through these glens somehow. There's a Wrath of God. So we have 2 board sweepers. We could just jam one of them. They have no cards in hand. Yeah, let's start jamming our board sweeper. So we're going to start with Wrath of God. What I want to do is get to the point where we can attack with all these pests and pressure their life total. They just let it resolve. That's really bizarre. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. But now we just can't really lose. Well, plus, we have instant speed dam available. We have Teferi upticking, and then Fractured Identity for their next threat. Maybe if they have Ancestral Recall, they could win. But this is looking really good. There's a win condition. So we'll jam that. Oak is a relatively quick clock. It's not as quick as some things on its own, but it'll swing for 3 next turn, and then 6 2 turns after that. Alright, they just pass. That's good for us. It's Hardcast Moldrifter. They can't play counter magic, so don't try that, opponent. They might just concede here. Alright, so we draw our 2. Hopefully we draw Field of the Dead. What are you doing, opponent? You can't cast any spells right now. Alright, so fine draws. I mean, probably good draws. Ancestral Vision's a brick, but we don't need that at this point. And at this point, it's really just going through the motions. We'll hit for 3, we'll hit for 5, we'll hit for 8. That's not quite enough, unfortunately. We can start getting Uro down. We still have, I mean, honestly, I hope they just, like, top deck Hullbreaker Horror and cast that, and then we can Fractured Identity to steal it and speed up the clock. Take 3. Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic Command. This just doesn't do anything. They could bounce the food token, I guess. I guess the one card they could have is Upheaval. So let's assume they're going to top deck Upheaval each turn and play accordingly. Their deck is kind of sweet. I can imagine this game playing out very differently. I mean, the key turn was when they hit us with a Hangerback Walker, or they tried to hit us with a sorted up Hangerback Walker. I think sorted up is a legit phrase there. But they have a bunch of counter magic, so if they're ahead on board, or even on board, it would be hard to pull ahead. I guess another key turn was when they just let our Wrath of God resolve for some reason. Okay, they bounce our food or our 3/3 as expected. We don't care, as expected. Can we draw a Time Walk? No. Let's play Uro. We actually can just escape Uro immediately, too. So escape, green, blue, blue, whoops, blue, green. And I don't really think it matters what we leave. We don't have any Snapcaster Mages or anything. Alright, we'll get that into play. Oh, I guess that's one thing that matters. We could have left Prismatic Ending in the grave, or Prismatic Vista in the graveyard, but really not too concerned about this. We'll hit you for 2 and pass. Next turn we can swing for 11. Tamiyo, not really an issue. I guess, oh wait, this is kind of an issue. They can bring back Sword of Body and Mind and hit us for 10, and then we're going to go down to 6 cards in library. So they could go for the mill plan. Then we could, I don't think it's going to be effective, but it does mean Uro is a bit more of a liability. In fact, we might even turn our own Uro into a 3/3, so we don't have to attack when it goes. But, oh, okay, well, they had one niche out, and they didn't find it, and so now they're, I mean, it was already going to be over, but now it's even more so. We do want to kill this Tamiyo, though. Sword of Body and Mind is one of the only scary cards left in the format. Okay, hit our Teferi. This is fine. Let's turn this into a 3/3. Hit Tamiyo down to 1. Actually, let's just take their Tamiyo. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we're going to hold up Glenn. We'll plus and swing. I'm actually just going to kill this. It probably doesn't matter, but maybe if they have some weird way of getting Sword back into play, it could. And I don't think there's any possible way we need them for next turn. We have multiple ways to deal with. I mean, all 3 of these Planeswalkers can deal with a potential blocker, so I'm not really worried about that. And Glenn protects us against Upheaval. Hydroid Crisis could gain them a bit of life, but then we just bounce it and kill them still. We're swinging for 13, at least. All right, they're grinding. They're really trying to make this happen. I respect it. I don't think they have any out still, but they are delaying the inevitable. So they play Gilded Drake, take out Ro. How much? Actually, no. Is this even delaying the inevitable? We have 5. Yeah, actually, we still have 10 damage, so this should be game. All right, sweet. So we kind of dominate Goofball in game 1. Good start. We are 1-0, and I'll see you in round 2. All right, we have our opponent for round 2. We're yet to drop a single game, and I have no intention of ending that streak this league. Uh-oh, it looks like our opponent may be too afraid. Oh, they joined at the last minute, and we get to go first against Nickelodeon 83. Double 6-drop in the opener is not really what you want, but I think this hand is a keep still. We have all of our colors. Raven Inspector. Okay, we're just gonna repeal the clue token. Land, repeal. Thoughtseize, pretty good draw. We can't play it this turn, but that will be good whenever we do play it. Next turn, it's a close decision between evoking Muldrifter and playing Thoughtseize. Muldrifter is way more mana efficient, but Thoughtseize is more interactive, which I like. I think I'm going to evoke Muldrifter here. There's nothing they can play that would be completely backbreaking. Yeah, let's see this. We have a very mana-hungry deck, so I think if it was 2 mana versus 3 mana, that's one thing, but using only 1 mana versus getting to use all 3 is a pretty big difference, and we can't even get the tap land into play. Or we draw a bunch more mana sources, that's fine. We can play Signet into Thoughtseize next turn, and then set up for turn 5, 6-drop. So this is a really big turn. If they just play some dopey creature, oh, they blow up our Tundra. That's actually not bad at all. It means it slows us down a bit, but we have a lot of mana sources. Good draw there, too. So let's go Underground Sea, Dimir Signet. And I'm going to Thoughtseize using the Signet here. Actually, they can't have days. Yeah, there's no reason to do that. Okay, so they have an interesting line of Thoughtseize, my Consecrated Sphinx, plus Necromancy it. So the question... Oh, they can also Necromancy Muldrifter. Yeah, let's just take the Necromancy. They can Thoughtseize us. We'll still have at least one good threat. This card is pretty scary, though. They will probably take the Tavalar's Huntmaster because Snuff Out is a good answer to Consecrated Sphinx. We actually don't have our second green source right now, but we can cycle the Savai Triome looking for another green source. Interesting, they do take the Sphinx, even though they have Snuff Out. That's a little bit weird. Because if you Snuff Out, you don't even need mana available. You can always Snuff Out the Sphinx, and it leaves no damage for them as long as they don't accidentally go to their draw step. Whereas Tavalar's Huntmaster, if they kill it, we'll still get 2 bodies out of it. Okay, pretty good draw. Let's just play that. And then cycle the Triome end of turn. Well, the benefit of doing it now is drawing Ancestral Recall, or Ancestral Vision. And the drawback of doing it now is that they could Thoughtseize whatever we hit. I think I actually will just cycle this now, though, just in case we do hit the Ancestral. Okay, sure. Now they'll probably crack the Silent Clearing end of turn. Yep. So next turn we're just going to jam our 6/6. Liliana. That's not that bad. We can just discard Suspicious Stowaway here. They'll probably discard... I think they played Plane, so they might discard one of their removal spells. Oh, another land, sure. They hit us for 1. Creeping Tar Pit, not a bad draw. Although it'll be sort of an assuming if they plus the Liliana, we'll need to decide which one of these to discard, and that's kind of close. So they could go end of turn, Snuff Out Tavalar's Huntmaster, dismember one of the wolves, and then Liliana to Edict away the other wolf. And that would take out our entire board, but then they would have not much else going. Worth noting that we do have 2 cards that care about whether it's day or night. So it's a somewhat valuable variable to manage that, even when we don't have one of them in play. If we can make it night, and then just Tavalar's Huntmaster comes in as night, that's good. Okay, so they make a sack of wolf. They're probably going to dismember the other wolf now. Chupacabra, same thing. Although dismember is better against Creeping Tar Pit. Okay, now we have an interesting choice. We could play Pest Infestation. Yeah, let's just play the biggest Pest Infestation that we can. We're not targeting our own Dimir Signet, of course. We're just going to play this to make a bunch of 1/1s. And then if they plus Lily and we discard Creeping Tar Pit, that's fine. I think I'd rather have 2 insects in play than a Creeping Tar Pit tapped. Okay, they do plus to take out our last card. That's fine. Is this a white source? Yeah, it is. So we have double white, double green, double blue, double black. Our mana's good. They just pass. Now, do we want to send everything at Lily? I think I will. They can, well, we could also send everything at them, but that doesn't really work. I don't care that much about Liliana, but I could imagine getting to a point where I care if they get close to ultimate. So I'm just going to send everything at her and take her down this turn. They're going to get to eat 2 of our insects, but that's fine. Gain a bit of life, and then we'll play Razor Ridge Thicket tapped and pass. Now it's kind of a top deck war, but we have so much more mana, and I have to think we have better top decks too, given that we're playing blue primarily. So we have 19 total mana sources with the Signet. We've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 6 left. I'm going to hold this forest, partially because they might Thoughtseize us, and partially in case we draw Field of the Dead. Okay, Smuggler's Copter is a real problem. We don't have that many removal spells to hit it. And we draw yet another land. That's pretty bad. Actually, we're not going to fetch here because that speeds up the clock quite a bit. This would be a frustrating one to lose. We were way ahead, but we're just flooding out now. We have a lot of live draws, of course. Both of our 6-drops are gone, but we have Fractured Identity. I guess a Board Sweeper wouldn't be very good. I don't know. I mean, we could definitely lose this. Even if we do lose this game, I have to think we'll be favored in games 2 and 3. I guess we could draw Teferi and Oko, which would both be good draws. We take 3, go to 10. Luris. That's not that good. They can play Moxjet, but I don't care about that. Alright. We'll see if we can get there in time. Right now they're killing us in 4 swings. This would be a pretty frustrating one to lose. We were massively ahead for most of this game. Okay, so I'm going to chump block the Thraben Inspector. If we kill it, then they can just play it with Luris. This does let us gain 1 life. And I think I actually might... I'm tempted to crack the Scalding Tarn to just thin out 1 land. But probably the life is more relevant. With 19 cards. Animate Dead the Consecrated Sphinx. Well, alright, this is the key turn now. Oh, man, this is going to be frustrating if we lose this one. Alright, actually, I'm going to crack this now. Well, no. Yeah, we're going to die in 2 turns either way. So, let's crack this, grab the last island, and then we could draw a Board Sweeper. We could draw Teferi. We could draw, and then, like, Fractured Identity is, of course, what we most want to draw. Let's take our draw step. Come on, something good. Oust. Brutal. We can oust the Consecrated Sphinx, which will go into our deck. But the problem is now they're going to get their Animate Dead back, and they can Animate Dead on Tavlar's Huntmaster, so I don't think we're going to be able to win this game. Tough one to lose, but I still like our odds a lot for games 2 and 3. I might cut Consecrated Sphinx in this matchup. They have decent removal for it, and I don't want to deal with them reanimating our Consecrated Sphinx. They don't have good card draw unless they steal our card draw, essentially. We don't have that many sideboard options, though. Because they hit us for 3, we're going to fall to 4. Then we're drawing a brick this turn. Well, we're drawing an unknown this turn, and then Consecrated Sphinx next turn. So, just Time Walk or something would be really good. Teferi would be incredible. The rest, that's fine. Alright, come on, deck, give us something. The Animate Dead to bring back Tavlar's Huntmaster. Okay. I think we're not dead on board. They can put us to 1 in the air, and we have 4 blockers for... Oh, no. If they attack with everything, we do die. We'll have some life gain triggers on the stack, but they'll kill us before they resolve. And it's sort of a weird situation where if they had first strike on all their creatures, we would win. Or, not win. Survive. And then maybe have an outside chance. But we'll see. Hopefully they don't see the line. Hopefully they just swing with a copter. Oh, I forgot they have to tap a creature to crew the copter. So they can still kill us if they dismember the knight, but they might do the line that we want them to do. Oh no, they do attack with everything. Alright, so we can survive this at 1, I believe. Unless they dismember right now. Nice. Okay, so let's block here. Chump. 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 Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I mean, we die. I don't know where... We can block like that, but then we go to exactly 0. Bummer. With 3 life gain triggers on the stack. Okay, so we do lose in game 1 to Orzhov. Reanimation stuff is a bit of an issue. Let's bring in Wrath of God. And then do we want to bring in Endurance? That seems kind of sweet. Yeah, I might need to adjust the mana base slightly. What do we not want? Let's cut Consecrated Sphinx and Tavlar's Huntmaster. And then just run it like this. Yeah, I think this is fine. Their reanimation spells are also good against Mole Drifter, but not as good. I'm not too worried about that. One thing that's worth noting is that both of the reanimation spells we've seen so far are enchantments, which makes Pest Infestation significantly better. Alright, on the play for game 2. Not going to keep a no-lander. Alright, this is a great hand. So we can keep this one and put back, I think, Underground Sea. And the reason to do Underground Sea instead of Watery Grave is I'd rather have Underground Sea in my deck. It's a better top deck later. Interesting. Thoughtseize or Miscalc. I think I'm just going to hold up Miscalc. So let's go Forest Pass. If they just swing for 1 and pass, I'm going to Thoughtseize with Miscalculation up. Okay, that's definitely worth countering. And now they're playing stuff like Vindicate. Oh, that's a bad draw. Do I want to Thoughtseize to try and hit Vindicate? Or just jam Oko? I'm going to jam the Oko. We might get punished for this if they just... Like, if they play Vindicate, that's kind of a bad exchange for us. It's, well, it's a 1-for-1 exchange where we get a food token. So strictly speaking, it's actually a good exchange for us. But given how good Oko is when he survives, it's sort of a waste. But I think it's still the right play here. Okay, they just play Luris. That's fine. They swing for 1. We draw Knight of the Reliquary. That's a good draw. So let's crack this for a basic plains, or do we want to crack this for a Tundra? No, let's crack this for basic plains so this can get double green. So we'll start with Thoughtseize. Okay, I don't care about the Tidal Sculler, so we'll take the Chupacabra. Crack this for plains. Play Knight. Turn this into... Oh, we could, No, let's just turn this into an elk. And pass. We could have exchanged our... We could have stolen their Luris, but we'd have to lose our own Oko, which is definitely not worth it. So Knight of the Reliquary can get us... We don't have that many value lands, unfortunately. It can get us a Creeping Tar Pit. And it can just, like, put a bunch of lands into our graveyard so we don't flood too much going forward. If we just draw only bricks, we could lose, but this is a pretty solid position. Oh, we could also get Field of the Dead. That seems good. We're kind of far away from that right now, but still a pretty good thing to potentially be able to get. Oh, and then they Bone Shard, sacking Thraben Inspector. Okay, that's actually really bad. Now they can just replay Thraben Inspector, and Oko's gone. Yeah, that's a really bad exchange for us. Bone Shards was a great top deck for them. It's even better than just 1-mana destroy target thing, because they just get a free clue token. All right, let's repeal one of their clue tokens. Endurance, interesting. All right, play land, go. Or do we want to swing for 3? No, let's just play land, go. They could double block with Thraben Inspector and Tidal Sculler, and then we could Endurance so that they can't replay them with Luris, but I just don't want to deal. I'd rather save Endurance for a better situation. If they attack us with both, what do we do? Well, if they attack us with just one creature, I'll take it. I think if they attack with both, I probably will just jam the Endurance, though. Assuming we have... Oh, no. We have Knight of the Reliquary, so we can find an untapped green source. Okay, so let's do this, sack this. Do we want to just get Field of the Dead now? Or do we want to get Creeping Tar Pit? Or do we want to get, like, just a green-white land so our mana is better? Yeah, let's grab Verdant Catacombs into the Triome. If we were closer to having Field of the Dead going, I might get that, but we're not. Let's grab a bunch of lands. Ancestral Vision, not the worst draw. I guess, oh man, yeah, so we still only have one green source. We should probably get a green source now by sacking this plains. That's fine. This Knight of the Reliquary will help insulate us against Mana Flood. Like, every single turn that passes by where we're just, like, taking lands out of our deck is getting us closer to a winning endgame. So let's grab... So we have Temple Garden in the deck. I'm going to grab a forest or an island because I'd rather not sacrifice one of these lands. I'm just going to grab Tundra. And then plan on sacking it next turn to grab Temple Garden if we need double green. And I'm still going to hold the Endurance. There's no rush to get that down. Okay, good draw. We will play that. And bounce Luris. Okay. Let's just jam that now. So we can get... We need an untapped green source. Oh, no, we don't. We could hold off this turn. Yeah, I'll just grab a... we don't have any other forests or island. Oh, no, we can just sacrifice one of these triomes, and that's fine. So let's grab Underground Sea. And then play Ashiok. And we don't have Endurance available this turn. but I think that's fine. Okay, we hit some pretty good cards there. They can kill our Thievery now if they want, but that's really not that bad. Though we don't really want to block because then they can just replay it with Luris. Luris is good. It's a strong card even when it's not a companion. Wrath of God, interesting draw. Not going to play that yet. We hit their Porcelain Legionnaire. And then this is an 8-8, so we could swing for 11. Or 8. Let's swing for 8. Actually, that leaves us without Endurance. Let's see, what are we at on this Ancestral? 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold off here. We could swing for 8, and that's a pretty quick clock, but it's not that viable of a long-term plan because then, like, this turn we hit them for 8, but the next turn they can just leave back to Raven Inspector, and that kind of shuts down our attacks. Sort of funny that they don't... Oh, I guess if they draw a reanimation spell, they could bring back Chupacabra. So we might want to go for the Endurance there. Him to Torok. Okay, we will go for the Endurance now. So let's go tap this for mana, sack this. Grab Temple Garden untapped. Don't love having to shock here, but it's fine. Cast Endurance, and I'll target them. I think it is worth it to put it on the bottom here. It makes them a little bit less close to getting milled with Ashiok, but it also turns off their reanimation spells. And reanimating a Necromancy would be pretty solid here. And then in 2 turns that comes off. They can hit our Ashiok for 3, but they don't. Gideon, not a bad one. So let's plus again. I don't really care about this Porcelain Legionnaire. Alright, so we pass back to them. Next turn, we're going to draw 4 cards. We also still have Ashiok going. So they really need something drastic here. Alright. I think I will sacrifice this here. We don't. I guess we have one more double green card in Tavalar's Huntmaster. So I'll grab Razorverge Thicket here instead of Field of the Dead. All right, great hits. So let's plus this. Then play. So I'll plus this. Attack with everything. And then we could play either Uro or Dimir Signet. I think Uro's slightly better, actually. Actually, no. Let's play Dimir Signet so we can have Glenn available next turn, no matter what. Time Walk. Okay. So we take down game 2 against Orzhov. Game 3. They know about the Endurance now. I think that's fine. I still think I like cutting the Consecrated Sphinx and the Tavalar's Huntmaster. It does make our top decks slightly worse, but it also makes their top decks a lot worse. They have so many reanimation spells. I guess they might just be reanimating their own thing primarily. It's close, but I think I just like running the main deck back. Do we want to change do we want to add a forest or a plains? Because we did cut a double blue card, and added a double white card and a double green card. No, we have way more blue cards still. I think this is still the way we want to run it. If anything, we could cut one swamp for forest or plains, but I think this is fine. Actually, maybe that seems decent. Yeah, let's cut one swamp for one forest. There is a world where this comes back to bite us. Specifically, if we draw Prismatic Vista in our opener and Thoughtseize, and we can't cast it, but we really want to be able to play Endurance. That's going to be a really important card in a lot of gameplay patterns, so we should be ready for that. Okay, not a broken hand, but a keepable hand. We have all our colors, and we have Fractured Identity, which is our best card, although we no longer have Fractured Identity. I think they got to take the Fractured here. It's slow. It is our most expensive card, but it's just that good. I guess they might have like a Hymn to Torok, and so they could try to hit Fractured Identity later with another discard spell. Okay, they take Ashiok. Interesting. Tundra was a mediocre draw. Night's Whisper, sure. Interesting. Mox into Sensei's Top. Okay. Wrath of Gods is not a bad draw. We can Pest Infestation the Mox Jet next turn, but there's a decent chance they'll just play Lurrus and replay the Mox Jet, which is kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. Vindicate my land. Alright. We don't have green mana anymore. We're playing 18 lands, though, so I'm not too worried about mana screw. Also, worth noting, I'm now very happy we added a forest over a swamp. We still have 2 black sources, and we need green mana. Alright, Porcelain Legionnaire. That's fine. That's a 3-1. I think I'm just going to kill the Porcelain Legionnaire here. We could also kill the Mox, but yeah, I'll kill the Legionnaire. We haven't seen that many expensive things. Yeah. Close pick between the Mox and the Legionnaire. I guess they did miss land drop. But... And we have Wrath of God. Okay. Given the fact that we have Wrath of God, I think that pushes it over the edge. Let's just kill this. And then I might just chump block with these insects. Like, our plan is to play Wrath of God. Like, we're not going to ride these 2 1/1s to victory. We're just going to play Wrath of God in a couple turns. So I think I'd rather preserve the life total. This is worse if they hit Lurrus, but that's not even that bad. If they play Lurrus, I'll just probably play Wrath of God, and that's fine. And our hand is still stacked. So just surviving and putting lands into play will eventually be enough to win. So block one of them. Crypt Breaker. Okay. Fact or Fiction was a great draw. So let's just play that now. They could reanimate something if they want, but with both Wrath of God and Fractured Identity, I'm not too worried about that. They spin the top again. Don't worry about that either. Fact or Fiction was the perfect card to draw there. In a turn where we have 2 4-drops, but we don't really want to cast either one of them, and we're just looking for more resources, like lands would be good. Fact or Fiction is a lot better when lands are good. If you're in a situation where you really only care about spells, it's super late game, all your lands are dead draws, and you hit like 1 or 2 spells and then a bunch of lands, then you're really only drawing 1 relevant card. But when lands are good, you can draw at least 3 pretty consistently. Alright, so we'll jam this Foff. It'd be awesome if we could hit Uro. No Uro, but some good ones. I think I'm pretty much taking the 3 pile no matter what. Maybe Field of the Dead plus Night of the Reliquary would be worth taking. But if they do lands and spells, I'll take the lands very happily. And if they split this way, I'm just going to go Plains Glen this turn and save the fetch lands until after we get Field of the Dead down. A very minor piece of psychological warfare that I occasionally like to implement is bad draw, but that's fine. If I think I know what pile I want to take with Fact or Fiction before they finish splitting, I'll immediately pick one to make them be like, oh, dang it, like I gave them all the cards they wanted, and to sort of make them second guess their own judgment a little bit. It might be a little bit cruel, but I do think tactics like that can actually make a difference. Especially since we just won the last game, they might be already feeling like they're on the back foot, and which might make them a little bit more desperate. So next turn we play Field of the Dead, and then each turn after that we can start making zombies. Discarding Winds of Abandon. All right. Ravenous Chupacabra, sure. Alright, so I think we're just going to play Wrath of God this turn. So I'm going to chump block with a Glen. If they had black mana available, I would be a little bit more apprehensive about this because they could have Thoughtseize, but as is, this should be fine. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's go... Yeah, I'll just play the Time Walk this turn. There's an argument to waiting and trying to get Field of the Dead down first, but let's just do this. So we play Time Walk, Wrath of God, and then even if they have Mana Tithe, actually, I guess we probably should have played Wrath first in case they have the Mana Tithe. This card is more important, but I didn't think they had it, and they don't. All right, not a very good draw, but that's fine. We'll get Field of the Dead down, cycle this. Another land is a bad draw, but we have Field of the Dead going. Every single time we draw a land, it's going to be a threat. I'm not too worried about this position, especially with Fractured Identity in hand. If they go like Fractured Identity, I mean, they really just need Vindicate. I don't think they can beat Field of the Dead. I guess if they go like Lurrus, Cryptbreaker, we just still don't care. Yeah, I don't think there's any way we could lose this game. Are we risk of really flooding? Again, 19 mana sources. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 accounted for. So we actually only have a few lands left in our deck. But the lands aren't even bad draws because we have Field of the Dead going. Alright, Tidal Color, sure. They can take our Fractured Identity. Not too worried about that. We're going to have 2/2s for days. They hit something they like. What could this be? Smuggler's Copter. Okay, that's somewhat of a threat. But that was a great draw, so I think we're fine. We can just fetch basic island with this and go to Fairy into Fractured Identity. So we'll play this. Bounce their Tidal Sculler. They crew the Copter in response. That doesn't do anything. That's a pretty good draw. I'm still going to Fracture this turn, though. They can take the Gideon with the Tideholder Sculler, but they're on a really quick clock now. We can hit them for... Actually, can we kill the next turn? We can hit them for 9 on board plus Gideon. Oh, no, Gideon can't emblem. We would have been able to hit them for 13, put them to 1. But, I mean, we're under no pressure. They have no board. We haven't seen any weird, like, upheaval type stuff from their deck. I guess they could play Balance. Balance would be the scariest card here, but we still have Smuggler's Copter, so I'm not even that worried about that. Dark Confidant. Okay. Let's play Uro. And then with this on the stack, we'll crew the Copter. Let's play the Gideon. I'm just going to instantly emblem. Plus, attack with everything. They take it all and go to 1, and now they have Dark Confidant in play, so they can't tap their land. Okay, they just died. Sweet. So, oh, we even knew they had top on top. All right, so we're 2-0. This deck is sweet. I really like it. I'll see you in round 3. All right, we have our opponent for the finals. In theory, I'm going on a hike in about 15 minutes, so hopefully this is a fairly quick round. I'm going to keep it. We need lands. This hand is absolutely stacked if we draw 1 land. We have 18 lands in the deck plus a Signet, so I think it's fine, but there is a fail rate for this hand. We're going to play Scalding Tarn, and we want to get green mana most significantly because we have the Uro. Unfortunately, this cannot get the green, white, black land. If we want to get, we could get... Oh, we can't get green at all with this. Okay, so let's get Savai Triome then. To get... Actually, no, we don't even need black, white. We can just get Underground Sea. Which lets us cast Uro. Oh, no. Not a land. Come on, deck. This is a huge draw. Yes! Okay, that's really good. We get to grab our Forest, and we're going to play Oko this turn. And we have more card draw to hit future land drops. This Oko could even just win the game on its own. There's some consideration of turning their Signet into a 3/3 just to slow them down. And if our hand was better, I would do that. But in the chance where we don't draw anything, I don't think that's worth it. Oh, nice. Okay, so let's just evoke Muldrifter here. Try and keep hitting land drops. And now, honestly, I'm not even that worried about them outgrinding us here. The thing I'm most afraid of is pretty much just the twin combo or some other combo. We're just so far ahead on resources, and Oko can deal with most threats they would play. Five mana for Fury. Really don't care about that. We could take their Fury, but I think I'm just going to turn their Fury into an Elk, suspend Ancestral, and play Factor Fiction end of turn. Expressive Iteration, that's a good card, but if they're trying to beat us with card advantage, that's going to be an uphill battle for them. They hit Wasteland, fair enough. That's a good card. Right, in response, we'll play the Foff. And of course, we really do want to hit lands here, so hopefully there's a lot of lands in these piles. Only 1 Field of the Dead. Alright, if they split Field of the Dead versus 4 spells, it would actually be a close decision. But there's no way they'll split that. That would just be unreasonable. They don't know we don't have lands. Okay, these piles will take the Gideon in the field. A lot of good cards to the graveyard there, which is kind of sad, but this is fine. Fast Bond. Interesting. That could mean they're playing Upheaval. Okay, so we could Fractured Identity something. We could play Gideon. We could just get Field of the Dead down. Let's play Uro plus Field of the Dead, I think. Just like really set up our mana. I'll do this so we can draw Thoughtseize. Okay, not a bad draw. I think we're just going to jam that. We don't have double green right now. So do we want to shock? Yeah, I'll just shock in the Temple Garden. I think that's fine. Our life total is high. And again, I think we're pretty much fine against anything other than Upheaval or a combo. And unfortunately, there's not much we can do about those two things. So we just need to apply a lot of pressure. Oh, that's really bad. That's another thing they could have. They can just okay, so they Fast Bond to kill all of our lands. We can then steal their Ramanep Excavator and start replaying our lands from the graveyard, but that's still pretty problematic. That's exactly the kind of weird thing that would be bad for us. Nice combo there from the opponent. Wasteland is also great against our deck. This combo is, honestly, I think this combo is pretty unplayable in general because it's only good against decks that have almost all non-basics, but unfortunately, that is our deck. So we'll take a draw here. They can also Fiery Islet. They're going to go down pretty low on life, but we're definitely behind here. They have a huge mana advantage. We still have Oko going, but that's a lot of stuff. Ramanep Excavator, Fast Bond is not bad. Definitely not bad. Alright, so we'll change these two. And now they're going to get to kill our Oko, but that's fine. I mean, it's not good, but I think it is what we should do here. So we'll do this, and then I guess I'll just put a Triome into play. They can kill it if they want to. But then they can't replay their Wasteland anymore. It's actually kind of relevant that we gave them a food token. The 3 life is... Oh, come on. All right, well, that's game. That's kind of rough. We were really ahead, but Fast Bond, Ramanep Excavator is pretty strong. Wasteland is also just devastating against us. So what changes do we want to make, if any? We could play Endurance to fight Ramanep Excavator, but I think that's a little bit narrow. I think we just run it back. That's like... They got us there, but that's a pretty narrow combo. I'm not too worried about them assembling it consistently. Plus, we have a lot of ways to interact with it. We can kill their Fast Bond with Pest Infestation, other stuff. We'll keep this. We don't have green mana, but still a good hand. Also, relatively good against Wasteland. Thoughtseize, good draw. Play the Signet and pass. So we're hoping for an untapped land so we can play Thoughtseize plus Muldrifter this turn. 12 Hunt Master. Okay, let's just play the Mole Drifter then. Alright, some good hits. We do need more lands, but those are some very good spells. They have the Wasteland again. It's fine. Manamorphose into Ramanap Excavator. Oko. It's not great, but it's not... I mean, we definitely can beat that, but we need to draw land here. Okay, that's really good. So let's go land, Time Walk, and then I'm going to Pestifestation this to make some dudes and pressure their Oko. So now we get to take our extra turn, and we get to draw a bunch of cards. And we can put them on the back foot here, even though they have Oko. We can also just draw Fractured Identity. No Fractured Identity, but we draw our own Oko. That's interesting. I think we just go Oko plus Thoughtseize here. So we'll go, yeah, Thoughtseize you. They have Ramanap, Treachery. Okay, let's just take the Ramanap Excavator. I think the other cards are just not that scary. Actually, these don't even have green men. They're a long way away from that being good. But still, the other cards can pretty much never beat us, I think. Maybe Treachery can. Actually, sure, I'll take the Treachery here. And then we will play this Oko. I'm going to make one of the pests into a 3/3, I think. Yeah, just so we can pressure the Oko better. Put a Triome into play. And then we'll hit the Oko down to 2. So they play the Fiery Islet. No surprise there. They don't have Delirium, so their Unholy Heat's not that good. They don't really have any good plays. They do kill off our Triome. That's not a problem. So let's start by attacking both of these at Oko. We could turn our Dimir Signet into an Elk to really go at Oko and guarantee that we kill it, but I think I just want to... I mean, if they use their Unholy Heat to kill our 1/1 pest, that's fine. Alright, they're just going to let Oko die? That just seems like it can't be right, but sure. Oh, then the Unholy... Okay, that's fine. They kill our Oko. That's... If we trade Okos, that's alright. They do have Mana Leak available, so let's just go Uro, and then we can get Field of the Dead going. And if they do draw a green source eventually, they can kill our Field of the Dead, but we're going to get at least 2... We're going to get some value out of it first. Although I guess we actually don't have it this turn, but we'll play... Yeah, get this in play tapped. And then I'm just going to play the Triome to get some more green mana going. And then next turn, we're really good to go. If they top deck a green source this turn, there's a chance they could win. But I still think we're ahead. And if they don't draw it literally right now, then they're just super dead. 3 mana. Crucible of Worlds. Okay, sure. I guess that's kind of annoying. They're going to get to Wasteland us a bunch of times, but we can get Uro down, and that should be enough to win. So let's go Verdant Catacombs. Or do we just want to get Huntmaster? Or, yeah, Tavalar's Huntmaster is probably better. So we'll grab Temple Garden. They don't have Treachery anymore. Tavalar's Huntmaster. Swing for 4. And now they're almost dead next turn. They go to 17 here, and we can hit them down to 3 next turn. And then with Gideon, we can kill them. They just play Expressive Iteration, so yeah, this should be game. Their deck is more consistent on the Wasteland thing than I thought. Multiple ways to recur from the graveyard. That's kind of scary. We're going to win this game, but it could be tough on game 3 when they get to go first. And I think we probably should bring in the Endurance. Okay, sweet. So we win game 2. Yeah, let's bring in Endurance. What do we bring out? I think I like having a board sweeper. The card draw seems good. Repeal seems good. Definitely like Pest Infestation. Knight of the Reliquary is good if they're blowing up all our lands. Close cut. I definitely don't want to cut a land against a deck that's attacking our lands. I might just cut Suspicious Stowaway. Yeah, we can cut this card. It's fine, but it's not super exciting. And it's also better when you have... so if they're attacking our lands are good draws. And spells are just always good. So I think we want to... in a situation where most cards are good, looting through our deck is less valuable. We'll run it like this. We have Thoughtseize. We cannot play it on turn 1 unless we want to... I don't really want to fetch a swamp with this because we have 2 double green cards. So I think I'm going to hold off 1 turn and just play this. And then if they Wasteland our Triome, then we can think about it and we might Thoughtseize them. We might get the basic swamp to Thoughtseize, but hopefully they don't have the Wasteland. Nice, they don't. Signet, don't care about that. In fact, we can kill that with Pest Infestation soon. Well, let's go... I guess I'll play the Vista and then Thoughtseize them. Okay, wow, they have Strip Mine and Wasteland. Oh my gosh. I mean, we're definitely taking Oko here, but that's a pretty annoying hand. They're going to really be going after our lands. And their deck is now officially sweet. If they have Wasteland plus Strip Mine and 2 ways to recur them and Fast Bond, that's just so many ways to blow up our lands. Okay, do we just play the Creeping Tar Pit here? Yeah, I will. They're just going to Strip Mine it, but you can't really play around Strip Mine that well. And I want to have untapped land still. So they go Strip Mine, kill your Creeping Tar Pit. Oh, they drew something. No, please, please, please don't be Ramming Up Excavator. Randomorpho. Okay, that's fine. If they draw Ramming Up Excavator, I think we just die. We could Endurance to get rid of the Wasteland, but they still have Strip Mine in their hand. So, yeah, if they just blow up the Creeping Tar Pit and then pass, that's fine. Their hand is kind of terrible. Alright. I'm not going to play around Wasteland anymore because, I mean, they have Strip Mine too. And now if they play Ramming Up Excavator or Crucible of Worlds, we can evoke Pest Infestation, or evoke... Yeah, I mean, this is... really, really good that we brought in the Endurance. And then next turn we can decide between getting green or black. They're really going after our lands hard. Take a draw and hopefully hit a land. Okay, we did hit a land, but not one that really eases our question. I think it's probably better to play Ashiok than to play Glen here. Or than to get Forest for Pest Infestation. It's close. But I don't even care that much about Time Spiral. That doesn't seem that good here. So I'll just start going after their library. We hit Tameo and 2 lands. The lands are bad, but it's good to get the Tameo. Consecrated Sphinx, not a good draw. We'll plus. And then Jam Glen. Are they just going to fire off Unholy Heat end of turn? So they might just be hoping to go land Time Spiral here. But they don't hit the land. Oh, do they have Fury? Oh, Let's see, Treachery. Treachery's fine. Kind of annoying, but we still get to untap with our Ashiok. I guess if we don't draw a land, it could be bad. If we hit a green source for Pest Infestation, that would be sweet. Well, Treachery into Expressive Iteration is good. Keep in mind, though, that if they ever use the Glen, we get the Glen back, so it's not as bad as it looks. Yeah, Copperline Gorge, so they have Time Spiral available next turn. They don't have double blue, so if we draw a green source, then we're in a phenomenal position. Take 2. Come on, deck, give us the green source. Not what I was hoping for. Not terrible, though. That does make a blocker, so unless they can't kill our Ashiok unless they have a removal spell. We got rid of Wrenn and 6. Jeez, they have Wrenn and 6 too? That's sort of insane. Alright. Their deck is just officially pretty sweet. I hate playing against decks like this, but I would love playing with it. So they can play Time Spiral if they want to. That's not that good for them, though. I mean, it's like they draw 5, we draw 5. They do get to untap their stuff, but I think that's not, like, if that's their play this turn, I'm kind of happy. Or, I guess it depends. If they go Time Spiral into Oko or something, that could be bad. Oh no, Fury? Okay, that's way worse. That is way worse. They kill our Knight. They can't kill both of our Planeswalkers, but they can kill... I mean, yeah, that's worst case scenario. Far worse than Time Spiral. And we're still not even that close to Consecrated Sphinx. We need to draw 2 lands. I guess we're hoping to just hit Forest into any other untapped land. Come on, deck, give me the Forest. Oh boy, was that a bad draw. That's rough. Ancestral Vision, hilariously bad when it's bad. We're not going to survive until it comes off unless we top deck really well. They actively should not, like, Time Spiral would help us immensely here. So hopefully they play that. I don't think they will, though. Dack Faden. Okay, that's not that bad. We don't have any artifacts. They can loot through their deck and then play lands from their graveyard with Ramen Up Excavator, so it's a good value play, but it doesn't really pressure us. Fiery Islet's a good hit for them. Alright, I think I'm just going to take all this damage here. We're taking 8, which isn't great, but we can't keep our Gideon alive either way. Fast Bond, brutal. Okay, yeah, I mean, we lose. Man, the opponent's deck is pretty sweet. That's, I guess, what happens when you're undefeated in the finals. They have 3 ways to recur lands from their graveyard. They have both Wasteland and Strip Mine. They also have Fiery Islet, so they have tons of ways to both blow up my lands and draw extra cards. They have Fast Bond to just turbocharge that and pretty much instant win with any of those other combos. They have a great suite of Planeswalkers. Wrenn and 6 and Dack Faden are both 2 of the best, and Oko are 3 of the best Planeswalkers in the format, and they work well with one another. Tamiyo can recur any of those things if you kill them. They have cheap burn spells. Just a really broken deck. And we draw a complete brick. We can't attack the deck or else we're dead on board. I mean, we could concede here because I think it's impossible that we win, but there's a weird world where they just horribly misplay, and that's our only out. Also, the only reason we even have a chance this game is because we had the endurance to evoke. Although, also, it's a little bit unlucky for us that they drew both Wasteland and Strip Mine when they were on the play. But yeah, I don't think there's any way we can win this game. Flashback to Faithless Looting, okay. Like, I guess we could draw Board Sweeper, but they have Glen. Yeah, there's no way we can win. Maybe there's some weird world where they mill themselves. I guess that's the one out. They play Direfleet Daredevil to Thoughtseize us, take Consecrated Sphinx. This is still on 3, so it's not even close. So they attack with everything. We chump block Fury, go to 5. And then our out is that they don't realize they have Glen Alundra. And we top deck a Board Sweeper. Actually, maybe no, we are dead. Even if wait, if we top deck the Board Sweeper, we play it. They have to use Glen. Then we get the Glen back as a chump blocker. We can chump the Fury and survive at 1 life. So that's our out. Oust. That does the same thing. Well, okay, let's oust the Fury, and then we're dead if they just let this resolve. But they might use Glen. And if they use Glen, we can survive 1 more turn. Oh, Mana Drain. Jeez. I mean, yeah, their deck has got to be one of the best ones I've ever seen, to be honest. They might struggle a bit against combo, but they even have Mana Drain for that. And yeah, we're dead on board. All right. Good game, opponent. That was, I mean, if I'm going to lose to a deck, I guess I want it to be one of the best decks I've ever seen. That was just insane. So we go 2-1. Could not quite get the trophy, but definitely a sweet league. This deck was awesome. We had lots of colors, lots of fixing. We got to win with Field of the Dead one game. We had Oko, Ashiok, Teferi, so many sweet Planeswalkers, Fractured Identity, Pest Infestation. We didn't really have any weaknesses either. I guess we were a little bit light on counter magic with only Miscalculation and Glen. So Storm could be a tough matchup, but some of the Planeswalkers are really good there, especially Ashiok. We had 2 Board Sweepers to beat creatures. Just a lot of good stuff. The only weakness of the deck is that its mana base is complicated. And honestly, our fixing was good enough that we weren't that weak to variance. There's not going to be that many games where we just didn't draw the right colors. There was a couple situations where it was awkward because we couldn't get double green and double white or whatever, but that was not really the problem. But lots of Wastelands and Strip Mines is the perfect thing to take advantage of this deck, and that is unfortunately what we ran into in the finals. So I couldn't quite get the trophy, even though this deck is sweet. I think if you play this deck through 10 leagues, you trophy 8 of them. Like, that deck was really the perfect deck to beat this. But that's life. Vintage Cube has a lot of powerful decks. Sometimes you're just going to get Vintage Cubed, and that's part of the fun. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.